there is something amazing that happens, and I don't mean like opening up a can of this or throwing something out of the freezer into the oven.
Right.
I'm talking, babe, let's try this recipe tonight.
Mm-hmm.
You print out the recipe, you get the stuff that's on the list, and you go home and you're cooking it together. What that's teaching you is, one, how to kind of follow the recipe, which is the recipe for love, the recipe for relationships, the recipe for communication, because you have to put in the exact amount in order for it to turn out correctly, especially if you're doing it for the first time.
Bed, love,
Bed, love,
beyond. Bed, love, beyond. Bed, love, beyond.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Bed Love Beyond, the podcast for the hopeful and the hater in us to discuss sex, love, and whatever's clever with like-minded people like you who are also in limbo with love like us. If you want to be a part of the show and want us to talk about any particular topic or ask us anything in general, you can write to us at bedlovebeyond@gmail.com or text us and leave a message at 201-862-8233. So today's episode is going to be episode 86, Bring Me a Higher Love, exploring intimacy farther than the physical. And today we have a special guest, a relationship educator, Yanni Brown. How you doing, Yanni?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I am good. And hopefully you and the other people out there have caught that reference of Higher Love by Steve Winwood from 1986. This is a very good song.
I just heard that song 2 days ago.
Really?
I like listening to this like a oldie station here in Chicago.
Okay.
And they like go from all the way back all the way up to like now, and I love all those songs.
Yes, I know. Yeah, those are great songs. Really, really great songs. Okay, so you are a little bit about yourself. You are a blogger, and you are an author of a book called Making Love Better Begins Within. And so
Yes.
Can you please describe what your book is about?
My book, and it's so funny because everyone sees the title and they think that it's immediately about sex, but it's really about looking for love in all the wrong places, and how it really was just on the journey of making all the relationship mistakes one person could make, sharing them with the world, and discovering that love really did reside deep within me. And once I figured that part out, loving others, or the barriers that I chose to keep up, those said, okay, this is real, and in order for you to cross this line, then I got to believe in myself. So it's really about the journey to loving me and how that affects everything.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's awesome. So what made you interested to become a relationship educator?
After marriage failed, relationship failed, and you know how sometimes it's like, okay, well, who's the problem? If you look at the common denominator, okay, what's going on with you?
Yeah.
So I wanted to look at that. And then my background is market research. So I've done a lot of focus groups in my life, and that afforded me the opportunity to gather the numbers and statistics that said we're doing a horrible job at relationships.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
I just really became intrigued with what worked, what didn't work, why some couples, make it to the 50-year mark. What did that look like? And I looked at my generation and the generation underneath me and was like, okay, if I don't do something, then we're literally going to be like they make those futuristic movies, and no one's actually touching each other. And even if you look at texting now, it's like, okay, that's not a relationship. So
Right.
I just felt compelled to do something, and I was extremely passionate about it.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool. So so while doing research on you, I kept seeing the phrase "Make Love Better Together" with TWO. What is that
Yeah.
banner all about? What tell us about that?
And it's funny because I wrote a blog that was like my highest blog ever written. It got like over 10,000 hits and a ton of comments, and I wrote why I became his side chick. And in that blog I wrote my title, Making Love Better Together, and one woman's comment was, she doesn't even know how to spell together. How can I believe her? And I just laughed. But my business actually went from a couple of things. It started out as Kiss and Makeup, and then it went from Kiss and Makeup to Kiss and Makeup with Intimate Evenings. So I started out selling adult novelty toys, and
Ooh.
the toys sold themselves. I mean, it's just sex sales. So
Right,
It
of
wasn't
course.
a whole lot of thought that went into that, but I noticed couples weren't communicating after that. So then I started sneaking in their houses and setting up romantic rendezvous or setting up date nights for them.
Wow.
And that was amazing. I got the amazing rush. I got goosebumps. I couldn't breathe because it was fascinating that these people, like one person would know about the date, but the other person wouldn't. And they would show up and there's all these candles, there's dinner, the bed's turned back, they have a bubble bath. Maybe an hour into it, I have someone knock on the door to give them a couples massage. It was all the intimate things that I felt was missing in a relationship.
That is awesome.
And then I had couples calling me the next day like, that was really great, but how do we keep this going?
Right.
And so that went from how do we keep this going to me deciding, okay, something's missing from my business. So I went back to school. I didn't get a degree in psychology because and I'm not disputing any psychologists. I think they are absolutely amazing. I just know we don't always have time for that. And African Americans generally don't care to go to therapy.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, here's my question. You cheated. Do you want to work it out? Yes or no?
Mm-hmm.
So then as I started listening to more and more people, more and more relationship stories, sharing my own story, I was like, this is about us together.
Okay.
And if we don't fix this together, if we don't restore balance to this love thing together, then we're not going to make it. Because while the title is expert, we really just basically gather a lot of information from other people and we're sharing that information.
Exactly.
So that's when the business became Making Love Better Together. And it's going to take all of us to restore balance to this thing called love.
Absolutely. Then that's awesome. So I saw that you have various workshops going from benefits of marriage, friendship, communication, and intimacy. Can you please talk about those as well? What entails in one of your workshops?
My most popular workshop is called the Touch of Love workshop. And again, because couples generally don't do therapy, I was like, how can I get this in?
Yeah.
And make it fun. So what I did was I created a workshop that stimulates the 5 senses, and by taking away the sense of sight. So I'm going to take away the one sense, and then I'm going to stimulate all the other senses.
Okay.
But all while I'm stimulating the senses, I'm sharing recipes for the couples. I'm sharing what's good for the body. Now that you put this in, how is it going to taste? And
right.
How can you create longevity in the bedroom? And how can you communicate better? So it's really all these subliminal messaging that I'm pouring, but it's them tasting things on each other and why this is great and how you can communicate better. So it's really all those things that I talk about in the relationships, but I put them under food and I put them under tasting and feathers and things like that.
Wow. That's great. How does one attend one of these workshops?
And here's what I love about what I do with the workshops. I do some public from time to time, but most of the workshops are done through other organizations where couples know each other, because again, there's no real video of any of my workshops because all of my couples, I want them to be able to express themselves without having the thought of, I have to pretend for the camera.
Right. Yes.
So, it's usually a group of friends. So what I'll tell people is if you have a group of 8 couples or, 5 couples, then I'll come over and I'll bring all my stuff.
Yeah.
I'll bring some of the adult products and then I'll set everything up, and they generally have an amazing time. The men start out originally like, what is this woman doing and who is she? And she knows nothing about us. And then by the time we're done, they're ready to go to the grocery store. They're kicking everybody out of the house. They're like, we need to go.
Yeah.
It is the most hilarious thing ever.
That is great. So how does one sign up for that? Like, do they
You really just email me and say, hey, I would like to do one of your workshops. I also have a girls' night out. I have a KISS workshop, which is keep it simple and sexy. Mm-hmm. And both of those are for women, for the girls' night out, where I teach them how to please their mates.
Okay.
And they have an open conversation about love, life, balance, intimacy, and sex.
Okay.
Because a lot of times women will have issues, but they don't want to discuss them, or they don't want to be the villain about discussing them.
Right.
So I kind of already know what the issues are, so I'm going to talk about it anyway so that they don't feel like, oh, that's happening in my marriage.
Right.
Or that's happening in my relationship. So I take all that pressure off of them. And then I do that same identical thing with couples.
Okay. Do you have any male-centric workshops or no?
No, and that is because I'm not a man, and men tend to generally look at me very strange when I try to tell them about relationships. Now, if they come to me,
Yeah.
then that's different, but I don't advertise that.
Okay. All right. Cool.
And I'll
Yes.
add,
Yes, please.
men love the presentation, but that doesn't mean that they're going to buy.
Ah. Okay. All right. So I saw one of your workshops, and that's probably what we're going to be focusing on with the health and sex education, because the topic again is intimacy and everything other farther than the physical. Because anytime you hear physical intimacy, people assume like sex. Like, yeah, let's do that. But we want to know if there's anything more to that. So do you feel that there's more intimacy than just the physical?
Absolutely. I mean, and I tell couples this all the time. The foreplay begins in the morning when you say hello, or when you leave a Post-it note on the mirror if you have to leave before him or her, and you say, "Baby, I love you," or "Have a great day." Mm-hmm. That's intimacy, the beginning of the day intimacy. Or I was at the grocery store, and I saw this lady. It was really weird that we actually caught her coming to her car, but she had a rose and a note on her car. That's intimacy. And
right.
She walks up like nervous, like, why is this on my car? That's intimacy. You rubbing his feet, giving him a foot massage. That's intimacy. Giving your mate a massage without expecting anything in return, like sex on the back end. Right. All of that is intimacy.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. That's good, because sometimes, men, maybe women too, but men are just like, all right, yeah, intimacy, I got you. And then like, all right, what
it's like 2 rubs and we're good to go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, yeah, that really worked. And so is like, and women don't say this,
right?
And I work with them as well.
Yes.
Like a lot of times, I'm like, if you ask a woman what she doesn't want, she can rattle that off, click her nails together, snap her fingers, roll her neck, and tell you exactly what she doesn't want.
Right.
But the moment you say, well, what do you want? The room goes completely silent.
Why is that?
Because most of the time women don't know what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Or they're too afraid to actually want what they want and be okay with wanting it. Because you have to understand, women have been taught to not necessarily enjoy pleasure, whereas men, they're going to have an orgasm regardless.
Right.
So they haven't been taught, let me fully enjoy this. And plus, you have to keep in mind, most men, I'm not going to say they're selfish.
Right.
But they're definitely not selfless. So they're not going to take the time to necessarily discover if her G-spot is on her clitoris, or if it's inside the vagina, up in the left, way in the left-hand corner. They're not trying to discover all that.
Right. They just want to get in and get out.
They just want to. Yes, exactly.
Oh man. but what is the hesitation? What can we do? What can we do for the women to be more comfortable in saying whatever they want, as opposed to rattling off what they don't want?
I think I tell couples all the time, a great way to start is with dating.
Okay.
Because most of the time we've forgotten what dating is. Dating is the gathering of information.
Mm-hmm.
And the best way to do that is to be comfortable and free form and free falling in your dates. So if you pick out, there's 12 months in a year. So if he picks out 12 things that he really wants to do, and she picks out 12 things that she really wants to do, now you have 24 things that you can do on date night. So say, for instance, if he pulled the thing out, then he has to plan it. Okay. If she pulls the thing out, then she has to plan it. Now there's this pressure that's being relieved because now I'm not doing all the planning.
Right. Yes.
So that in itself, that starts the foreplay. So now you're getting to know the person that you're spending this time with. And then once you do that, now there's that intimacy, that connection there. That's like, oh, this person is really taking the time to get to know me. Mm-hmm. Now I can open up and share some of the things that I actually really like, or some of the things that I really want.
Right. Okay.
That's one way. And then another way is I call you take your mate on a scavenger hunt with your body.
Whoa! Hey now, okay. Let me know about that. Hold on. Let me get my pad. Hold on.
Now I'm dating myself. I am totally dating myself. But remember that TV show where they'd have to pick behind door number 1, door number 2?
Yeah. Let's make a deal. That's still on. Don't do that.
It's still on. I don't know.
Yes, it's on. Yes.
So you have ice.
Okay.
Or you have honey.
Yes.
All of your favorite things.
Mm-hmm.
And then you put them in places where he has to go to those places and discover what your erogenous zones are.
Oh, okay.
That's a great way to discover what you like and what you don't like.
Yeah.
That's a great way for him to take his time. Also, masturbation is an excellent way to get him to understand kind of where you are in this thing. But see, most women don't want to do that in front of their mate.
Yeah.
Because they're shy.
Yeah. That's a big thing. That's like me time, alone time.
Yes.
Right.
Whereas, but it can also be great intimacy time too.
Right.
I tell women all the time, if you haven't looked at it, look at it. Get a mirror at it so that you can become comfortable with it, because you can't share the intimate parts of you if you're not comfortable with them.
Right. Makes sense.
Once you can share it, now you can have him sit across the room, and you could do not touch until it's time.
Oh.
And you can see who can take it the most. And he's just watching you, because men are visual.
Yes, we are.
So he's watching you from across the room until he can't take it anymore. And he's like, hey. And then you say, well, this is what I want you to do. Because most men will take those two fingers and act as if they're erasing something off the paper. And we're like, hey, that is not how we want to be touched.
Right. Oh, man.
So it's just a matter of sometimes you need to visually show them, but you got to be comfortable with yourself in order to do that.
Okay.
Another way of intimacy is to do picnics at home.
Oh, okay. That's okay. Why, as opposed
Turn
to
off the
not
TV,
outside?
Put the cell phones down and just enjoy each other's company.
Okay. Why inside as opposed to outside?
Well, definitely in the summer months, have it outside. And what I love about intimacy so much is that women generally are controlling because we, for lack of better terms, we don't trust you enough to let go of that control. So that's why you have so many independent women, because we've been let down so much that it's often difficult for us to say, okay, you know what, I'm going to let you have at it.
Okay.
So planning a picnic is something as simple as you just simply tell her where to be and what time to be there.
Got you. Okay.
And maybe, better yet, don't even tell her pick out something to wear, lay out what you want her to wear. And if you're not at that level yet, just say dress casual.
Okay. Now, with that laying out the dress thing, like me laying out something for my significant other, does that really work? Because I feel that
absolutely
the woman will just be like, why do you want me to wear this? I'm gonna wear something else different. So
that's but see, if you leave the woman no option,
right,
then she'll do what she's told. You just need to be confident in your telling. So that would be something as simple as if you laid the dress out on the bed with the shoes and the accessories. Right. Now you've went way above and beyond to say, I'm interested. Not only am I interested, I know what you have in your closet, and I know what I want to see you in. All of that says, I've taken the time to dress you up and down. Now I actually would like to dress you up and down.
Okay. All right. Nice. Okay. Good to know.
It's kind of like the Prince song. Baby, can I dress you? Can I help you pick out your clothes before we go out?
Okay. All right. Is there any more intimacy tips?
Ice cream dates are great, and so are coffee and tea dates. Those are inexpensive, number one.
Okay.
Two, it actually affords you the opportunity to have conversations.
Mm-hmm.
So we're having ice cream, we're sitting there, of course you got to talk, and don't talk about yourself. See what's going on with the other person, and just kind of listen. Mm-hmm. Not listen to respond, but just listen so that you're actually getting to know the person. That way you can plan the next date, because you're listening.
Got you. These are all very good, by the way.
Thank you. Another one is cooking, whether you're cooking for your mate,
yes,
or cooking together.
Okay.
There is something amazing that happens, and I don't mean like opening up a can of this or throwing something out of the freezer into the oven.
Right.
I'm talking, babe, let's try this recipe tonight.
Mm-hmm.
You print out the recipe, you get the stuff that's on the list, and you go home and you're cooking it together. What that's teaching you is, one, how to kind of follow the recipe which is the recipe for love, the recipe for relationships, the recipe for communication, because you have to put in the exact amount in order for it to turn out correctly, especially if you're doing it for the first time. Second time, now you can ad-lib and add some extra this or some extra that. Now you got your hands in the pot, the food is smelling good, you got the aroma going, you got some wine going, you got some music going, and then before you know it, you're having amazing conversations. And these are all like lighthearted things to do that just kind of not necessarily come naturally, but communication comes naturally.
Right.
And then before you know it, you're sitting down and you've created this thing together.
Right. That's absolutely true. Because you take the time between the both of you to really, one, get the ingredients and all that stuff, but also you guys are getting to know one another.
Yes. And if she doesn't know how to cook, or if he doesn't know how to cook, that is a great introduction to this can be fun. Let's do it together.
Yeah, exactly.
Now it's not a chore anymore.
Yeah. No, that's true too. Because if one person knows how to cook, that's good. At least the food won't get ruined. But it kind of takes away out of the exploration and discovery with each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it helps you identify what the other person likes.
Oh, yes, that's true too. Anything else? I mean, these are all good. Ice cream dates. Yes.
So back to the intimate products. So depending on, now this is for a couple that lives together.
Okay. All right.
Or a couple that doesn't mind using somebody else's house for this.
Okay.
So there are these glow-in-the-dark dice.
Okay.
And you can play hide-go-seek.
Okay.
You can play strip-tease. You can tell your mate to bring home like $5 bills because, you got to make it rain with the big money now. And then you put on some sexy music and you utilize your entire house for your benefit. I think a lot of us just get so caught up once we're in relationships that we think, we can only do it in the bedroom.
Right.
Well, no, that's what your whole house is for. So say he's had a long day at work or he's had a stressful day.
Yeah.
He comes home, the house is completely dark, you have on an outfit, and then you throw those glow-in-the-dark dice out on the floor, and one dice says kiss, and the other dice tells you what to kiss, and that's what you do for the day. So, and you see how simple that is?
Yeah, that's super simple.
That's like a $6 item. Now I've just engaged my husband or my man and said, you know what, baby, I got you. Let me take the stress off of you because at home, that's where your castle should be. It shouldn't be me coming home and then, somebody's fussing at me or something like that. That's intimacy.
No, you're right.
Or rubbing his head after he's had a long day. Or if you know he likes beer, put his beer in the freezer about an hour before he gets home so that it has like the little ice right on top. Or if you know she likes wine, have her wine chilling if she likes it chilled, or just have it sitting on the table with a glass.
Okay. Why are we missing these simple things? Are we putting too much pressure on ourselves?
No, what we're doing is we're becoming extremely comfortable very, very fast.
Oh.
What we're doing is we're rushing to get to know each other, rushing to have sex, rushing to fall in love, only to discover I know nothing about this person that I've just shared all this intimacy, this sexual intimacy with.
Wow.
I don't care how people slice it. And I get there are some people that are able to just have sex and there's nothing else to it.
Yeah.
I get that. But if you're talking about doing it more than once or twice with the same person, you've just ruined that opportunity to really get to know that person and what they like. Because you've ruined it just by having sex right off the bat.
Right. You went to the finish line without knowing the course.
Exactly. Exactly.
Got you. Oh, man. Anything else? I like that. I like that dice game.
Like that who?
I like the dice game.
It's like it's something so simple. And then, of course, there are women that want to put on the lingerie, and I'm all about role playing.
Okay. All right.
How often, and I know every woman likes to have the long hair from time to time, even if she has short hair.
Yeah.
Why not have an evening of role playing? And a lot of women tell me, well, you put an awful lot of pressure on the women. But the reality is we were built for this. Right. And women hate when I say that, but if you think about it, we're the backbone of the relationship.
Okay.
The head.
Talk about it.
The head is connected to the backbone.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to lead and guide your man correctly, all you have to do is lead and guide, and then let him do the head part.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You don't lead and guide him with the attitude and the curse out and the belittling. You lead him with who you are, your being.
Right. And then
in your communication, and then in that you should be getting the majority of what you want in return.
Okay. And you feel that we're missing that completely, like women.
Yeah, we're missing that completely. You know, I get the younger generation is, well, I work too, and I should have dinner waiting on me when I get home. And yeah, I get that. I do. I really, really do, because we do work hard. And yes, sometimes I really want him to have dinner ready, even if it's takeout.
Right.
But I also understand from generations before me and generations that will come after me, there is nothing like having something prepared by your woman.
Mm-hmm.
The nurturing that goes into whatever it is she does with that food, you can't touch that. You can't master that by saying, well, let's just do takeout. I use the analogy of biscuits.
Okay.
What does biscuits have to do with this? Do you know what biscuits are made out of?
No, I'm sorry.
Butter, flour, and milk.
Okay.
You can make a meal, which is biscuits,
Yeah.
out of butter, flour, and milk.
Okay.
And when he comes home and he sees that little bit of flour on your cheekbone, or you got flour all on your hands because you've been rolling in the dough, he's immediately turned on. And you can't tell me anything different.
Right.
Because he's like, wow, she's making that from scratch for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was nothing before, but now it's something.
Now, exactly. Now it's something. And it's something big.
Yeah. Okay.
Just like when a woman makes gravy from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
Can't explain it, but it's just something that it does to a man that likes gravy.
Right.
And to me, those are the seeds that you plant for the long haul, because I'm a firm believer what you won't do, somebody else will. And they either can't cook, can't manage money, can't bring in the money.
Yeah.
And now they're taking money out of the household.
Mm. Yeah, that's a good quote too. I mean, I've heard that a lot, where if you won't do it, somebody else will. And I mean, that stinks in itself, but it is what it is.
Yes, and it's the truth. Now, I'll tell you another thing that people are doing that isn't work, and it isn't going to work long term.
Please, yes.
They're getting together out of need.
Oh, like kind of like being complacent, you mean?
No.
Okay.
When I say out of need, like I need somebody to help me with the bills.
Okay.
Or I need somebody to help me figure out life. Or I'm in a rut right now and I don't really have anywhere to stay.
Right, yeah.
Getting together out of need.
So out of need as opposed to out of love.
Out of need, because most women, if you ask them, they want to be wanted.
Oh, of course.
Because if you need me, then I'm only around as long as that need is being fulfilled. Once that need is fulfilled, then do you really want me?
Got you. Mm-hmm.
That's a very different thing than actually being wanted. I want to be wanted, because wanting means you're going to take time out to get me.
Yes.
If you need me, then you just need me for whatever that thing is that you need.
You're right. And once that's been fulfilled, now question marks go up.
Exactly. Or now you're out to the next need.
Right. Okay. Dropping bombs over here. All right, Yanni. And anything else?
It's a lot of research.
Oh, I'm sure.
And just looking at couples and what they like, what they don't like, and it's like, this is why stuff is failing, because we're not engaged anymore.
Mm-hmm. So what are we engaged? What are we engaged in? What are we engaged in? Why aren't we focusing on each other anymore?
Because we have so many other things at our disposal.
Right.
That's instantaneous gratification.
Got you.
If I can't get my woman or my man to pay attention to me, I can post a selfie on Instagram and see how many likes I can get, or Facebook. Mm-hmm. Or I can air our dirty laundry out and see who's engaging in that. It's always something else that's grabbing your attention. If you think about how often you pick up your cell phone.
Yeah.
It is literally every other minute or every 2 minutes or every 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's never longer than every 2 to 3 minutes.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'm definitely guilty. Even
if you're picking up your phone that often, when are you touching me?
got you. Right, and when are you paying attention to me? Right. Yep.
Exactly.
Oh man. So we definitely got to engage each other, because we can be in such a better place if we just communicate with each other and like really listen to each other again.
And just come in sync. Like, you know how couples used to finish each other's sentences because they were in sync. They knew what was going on with each other, as opposed to, oh, I saw your Facebook post today. What's going on?
Right.
The whole day has went by. You didn't say nothing to me about you was mad, but I go on Facebook and I see you mad.
Right. Yeah. I'm supposed to know the post before you put it up, or
exactly.
I could eliminate the post altogether that it wasn't even up in the first place.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But see, we it's easier for us to do that because there's less confrontational. So we've replaced feelings and emotion with microwavable, everybody's replaceable, nobody wants to do any work, but here we are still having to do the work because that's the only way it's going to work.
Yeah. That's another thing too, where let's say, you're at the beginning of a relationship and I don't know, something doesn't go your way, or if it's the first fight and you're like, you know what, that's it, I'm done, that's it, I'm out of here. Like, no one wants to work at it anymore. Why is that?
No, not at all. Because it's easy to go on to the next best thing. And not only that, you have so many people that feels like, well, I don't have to work that hard with her, or I don't have to work that hard with him. She looks easy, he looks easy. That person right there is not going to ask me any questions about the bill. That person right there is not gonna, get on my nerves about why I didn't go look for a job today.
Okay, right.
People are looking for what's easy.
Oh boy, we need some help, Yanni. We need some help.
I mean, think about it. Who wouldn't want easy?
No, you're right. You're right.
I get to keep all my money. I don't have to take her or him. We don't have to go out to eat. We can just come over, do what we got to do, listen to some songs, watch a movie on Netflix, and hey, we're good to go.
Yeah, but is it worth it though? How long can that shtick work? How long can you keep that up?
Well, and it's funny because there's the consensus that women seem to think that they can do it without becoming attached, and I believe that is the biggest lie we've ever told ourselves as women.
Okay.
And then men do it out of sheer missing something.
Okay.
And they just won't engage or acknowledge that that's what it is. And then once they figure out that they no longer want the missing parts, now they're looking for something more tangible.
So why do you say that that thing is the biggest lie that women tell themselves, that we can just do it, willy-nilly like that?
Because women are now feeling like that's what they can do.
And you feel that they can't.
It's okay. There are no feelings attached. I don't think so. I mean, even if you think about, if you talk to the woman that's cheated, for as long as she's cheated, at some point she was hoping that he changed his mind and left her for her.
Right.
Or, I really didn't want to feel this way, but I love you and we're having a baby. So all these things come up.
Right.
That's not just happening just because now all of a sudden I'm doing something different. No, you're attached now.
Right.
Because you don't bring in attachments if you're not attached.
Right. Yeah. You caught feelings.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, veering back, because that was a good tangent, but veering back to the intimacy stuff, is there anything left you want to say about the subject before we close it out?
I just want to say to anyone that's actually looking for it,
yes,
figure out what you want, and then don't settle for anything less than that.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is there are a lot of us that are starving for intimacy, but we'll take everything else that's offered as opposed to actual intimacy. Meaning, if you know that you like, your love language is whatever your love language is.
Right. I love love languages, by the way. I love that whole thing.
But most people love you in their love language instead of loving you in your love language.
Got you.
And so rather than do that, if you know you like walks in the park, and holding hands and physical touch and all that stuff, then don't date someone who's not willing to physically touch you. Because now you're setting yourself up for failure. You're setting yourself up for a work of, let me try and change this person unconsciously, but subconsciously, but kind of sort of consciously. And then you're frustrated and 5 years in, and now you're ready to leave.
You almost just described me because that's exactly what I did. I was with I was with somebody who was I believe I spoke to you about this. She was a yoga instructor, and she didn't want to like be touched, and I'm not talking about intimately. Well, yes, intimately too. She was celibate, but she did not want to be touched like at all. And I was like, okay. And I think this was before that I knew that my love language was touch. And I was like, you know what? I'll just try it out for like a couple weeks and stuff. I mean, we only went out for a couple months, but I was drowning. Because I was like, oh my goodness, I didn't know that I needed physical intimacy this bad. It was really bad that I really couldn't touch her. I couldn't hold her hand or anything, and I was like, what am I doing?
And then and that's exactly what you find yourself saying. What am I doing? And then why? And then remember that part about the beginning of the conversation where I said, you fall for the person and you don't really even know the person, and then you discover I don't really even like this person that I love.
Yeah, or I take whatever I can get and think that it's intimacy, which is what you said. Yes, that's exactly what I did. I was like, all right, I guess this is it.
Exactly. And then you end up settling, and there are enough of us doing that.
Right. All right.
So I would say figure out what your love language is.
Yes.
Love yourself first. And then once you are open to loving others, allow that person to love you. But if they're not offering you love in your love language, then you have to draw that line in the sand. Stand true to that line in the sand. And then, you know what? I got to go.
Right.
Because at some point you're going to check out.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm not giving you what you need, and you're not giving me what I need. And I'll use this example, which is a little rough around the edges, but it's really true.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Say you like oral pleasures.
Okay.
And you meet someone and they say, I don't do that.
Right.
But you really, really like this person and you want to see where it goes. And you know what? I'm good. Somewhere in the longevity, because you have to look at relationships as there's supposed to be longevity.
Yes.
Somewhere in this longevity, I'm going to want this.
Yeah.
She doesn't do it.
Right.
It's going to be a woman with some red lipstick walking by you, and she going to do something with her lips, and you're going to be like, hey.
Right.
How you doing?
Right.
And now you've left that crack in the foundation for you to cheat because you denied yourself what you wanted, how you wanted it, and who you truly were for the thought of, maybe I can settle for this.
Damn. Whew.
Yeah, and it don't seem like it's that deep, but it really is.
No, I understand you because, well, here's the thing. Let me ask you this. What about if you can't you can't check all your boxes? What do you do then?
80-20.
Oh, we talk about that all the time. That's awesome.
What was that Tyler Perry movie, 80-20?
Yeah, we talk about that. We talk about that on the show all the time, 80-20.
Yeah, you have to be able to be at least for my mom, who I think gives the best sage wisdom ever.
Okay.
She said, if you're not getting some of what you want at least some of the time, then you're wasting your time.
Got you.
And as you get older, you realize how important time really is.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
You look at your friends and they're passing or just getting older and just running into life.
Yes.
You're like, yeah, no, I'm going to pass on that.
Right. Yeah, you have less time for like the riffraff, and the BS. You're like, you know what? I don't need to do with this. Yeah. Someone
asked me why is it so hard for her to find a man? She was in her 40s.
Okay.
And one or two things happened. I said, men see what they want, and then they make a choice as to whether or not they want to be with that person. So, say for instance, you look desperate.
Okay.
If they're looking for easy, you've just answered their question.
Okay.
If you look like you got stress all over you, and that's not something they bother with, they don't want to be bothered with it.
Right.
If you look like you're like no BS, you gonna check my boxes or not? If they not ready to check any boxes, they're not coming for you.
Got you.
So that's what I mean by women who know what they want. When you know what you want, then you're less likely to settle for what you don't want.
Okay. All right. Awesome advice. Thank you so much for being on the show, Yanni.
Thank you, and anytime.
All right, and that was Yanni Brown. That was a really good conversation that we had. And again, if you want to find her, she has a book, Making Love Better Begins Within. All right, and you can also write to her. I'll be sure to include her email in the on our website or whatever, so you can attend one of her workshops. And you've heard at the beginning of the podcast how her workshops work out. Well, no pun intended. How her workshops work. And yeah, you can do things and explore intimacy farther than the physical, because yes, of course, I guess guys and girls too, they love to just hop in the sack, which is that's no problem. If you want to do that, you want to do that. But sometimes we might be mistaking intimacy for just sex, and that isn't good. That should not be mistaken. And we should be able, if you really want to be with your partner, we should be able to see them for more than just their bodies, and see what we can do on an intimate level, whether it's something as simple as going to the movies, something as intimate as a walk in the park, having ice cream with each other, making ice cream with each other, or making dinner or something like that. We have to go to those things to get on a deeper level, as opposed to just having sex, which is deep as well. But being intimate is, we need to find a way to just be more intimate with each other, because I think that's just the better way. But yes, again, she hosts various workshops, whether it's benefits of marriage, friendship, communication, and intimacy, and also health and sex education under her banner, Make Love Better Together. That is TWO, together. So yeah, that's all Yanni Brown. All right. Again, thank you, Yanni, for being on the show. And that is the end of our show. But first, of course, we need to just go through the bookkeeping. So yeah, do you have any suggestions for our fellow Bed Love Beyond people, audience, about having more intimacy than the physical? Please write to us at bedlovebeyond@gmail.com, or hit us up on our website, www.bedlovebeyond.com, where you'll be able to see more information about this subject. You'll see a whole bunch of articles on there. You can give us a call or text us at 201-862-8BED. That is 201-862-8233. Again, you can call us and leave a message, or you can text us, and we'll still get the you can text us a question or a suggestion as to what can you do that's intimate without having sex. You can hit us up on Facebook, www.facebook.com/bedlovebeyond. You can talk to the other participants in the Bed Love Beyond world and give it to them directly. And you can follow us at Bed Love Beyond on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And that is the end of the show. Thank you for listening to us on Podbean, iTunes, Pocket Cast, Stitcher, and Google Play Music. Please rate, review, like, and subscribe to us on any of the devices that you listen to. That is the end of the show. My name is Martini. Thanks a lot. Bye.